Yeah, yes, sir. Did the boys need that? Did Francisco Lindor need that? Tyrone Taylor and Nails Bullpen. How you doing, everybody? It's your boy Wardy, and we're back at it with our latest post-game segment as the Metropolitans get their offense out of their tuchuses. They win tonight by a final score of 8-2. They salvage their series there in San Fran, avoiding the sweep, and now look to continue their winning ways as they head back home, have the off day tomorrow, much-needed off day, as they then kick off a 3-game set starting this Friday with JD Martinez batting fifth right behind Pete Alonso there against the St. Louis Cardinals. Folks, we have a big ball game to break down right now. Francisco Lindor just won 4-hit, 2-bomb day. Tyrone Taylor continues to prove why exactly he is in fact quite literally the best fourth outfielder in all of baseball. We have a lot to get into right after Francisco Lindor goes from being a true rally killer for the Mets. He steps up today and becomes their biggest focal point in their offense. Everybody first chiming in live on a replay right now. I need you all to do me a big favor and spam those W's in the live chat down below. People watching this on replay, spam them as well. How you doing, Mama Worm? Kevin, Daniel, great member. Yoshima, Seth, how you doing? Great member as well, folks. Like I said, we have a lot to deep dive. We have a lot of exciting stuff to get into. We got a new amazing sponsor to share in this show as well, folks. So buckle up. It's going to be an exciting post-game segment today. Happy to have you all in here. Again, a much-needed Mets victory, but they did it in a fashion that was oh so beautiful. Francisco Lindor shutting up the haters, making me shut up again. I was going in on Lindor yesterday. I love you, Lindor, but you were a rally killer yesterday. Not the case today whatsoever, and that is why I'm so pumped up to get into this one, because he made a lot of people, including myself, be proven wrong. I know we got a lot of people that, of course, have been going after him hard so far this season after his slow start, but when I tell you Francisco Lindor not only needed a game like today, the Mets needed a game from Francisco Lindor like what they got today, both on the offensive and defensive end. Just a massive, massive win that I'm beyond pumped up to break down for you all. But continue to spam those W's in the live chat right now. If you're watching this on Twitter, make sure that like, that follow button, that retweet button, but know that I will only be interacting, of course, with our viewers here on YouTube per usual, but I appreciate every single one of you taking the time to chime in. We're going to break down everything that you guys and gals need to know from today's ball game, innings 1 through 9 in particular, what transpired, because I got the notes in front of me right now, folks, and let me tell you, a lot happened in the ball game today that we're about to break down. But of course, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button for your boy. If you're just chiming in or watching on replay, greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much for helping us get a 25k subs for our previous short-term goal. Now help us get to our next short-term goal of, yes, 30k subs on the channel. Thank you all so much in advance. But folks, you know the drill. My man Rookie in the chat said it best. It is time for the official WardyNYM post-game jingle. Let's give it a rip, baby. Shout out, as always, to my amazing friends there at Jordan and Greg for the jingle, as always. You either love it or hate it, doesn't matter. Absolutely love that thing. Greg with the high pitch, Jordan with the little guitar solo. You'll love to see it, baby. And that's going to get the vibes juicing and going as we're about to break down innings 1 through 9, what transpired in this ball game, everybody. Very excited, very pumped up to do exactly that. So I don't want to waste much more time, folks. Let's break it all down together. What were the Mets able to do today? Why exactly did they win by a final score of 8-2? Let's all live react together and let's break down this ball game, everybody. Again, appreciate everyone first chiming in live on our replay as we're about to break it down. Kevin, how you doing? I know we got the hype, but you know we people dancing. We're salsa dancing here. A 500 on the road trip. I'll take it. I'll take that too. 100%. Look, you win a series, you lose a series. It's funny how the Mets managed to lose a series in San Fran, yet comfortably win one in LA, but that's baseball for you. The same way that Francisco Lindor was single-handedly a rally killer yesterday, he was anything but today. Anything but. Let's go, Daniel. Let's get some love. Let's get some hype in the chat. I'm absolutely juiced up, folks. Those are some giant bags. And nope, Eugene, those are just pillows, my man. You know, I was actually going to say something that I definitely shouldn't say because it was a reference to a certain sporting team back in the 80s. If you know, you know, but I don't want to shed it in negative light like that. Let's just break it down, folks. Let's get into this one. What about Manaea hanging on? We're going to get into Manaea as well. Daniel, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Daniel's been coming out of his way to, in fact, gift a bunch of awesome followers on the channel memberships. If you haven't gotten involved with memberships today, make sure you do that. Daniel, thank you so much, my friend. That really means a lot. Congratulations to William, Alex, Goomba, Gotham, and Brandon. You have all now become official WardyNYM channel members. Thanks to our great member already there and Daniel, folks. But let me break down the ballgame, everybody, because there's a lot to get into. But the biggest update, as I shared as you first came in, JD Martinez will officially bat 5th behind Pete Alonso this Friday to make his long-awaited, highly anticipated New York Metropolitan debut. Lock in, baby. I'm absolutely juiced up. Again, we have yet to see the best from this Mets team this season. I feel very strongly in saying that. Even after the great 2-week heater that they had, we know that there's a lot more baseball to be had. There's going to be a lot of entertainment, and today there was plenty of that, folks. And as we start there in the first inning with 2 outs, Francisco Lindor kicks off the day with a single from the left side of the plate. Pete Alonso with a hit-by pitch that hit him right up in the ribs. Hopefully he's okay. I know that's going to leave a welt, but he's a polar bear for the reason. He's going to chug through that. And, of course, shout out to our amazing sponsor at BetUS who has you covered with all your sports betting needs. Click the link down below today. That way you too get a 125% bonus with your first 3 deposits. Again, whether you're betting on MLB slates that we break down on pregame segments where I share my picks of the day. Hopefully you didn't tail the parlay yesterday because that couldn't have went more horribly wrong. We have pretty much been right around 500 on our picks so far this season, so hopefully we can pick things up in our next pregame segments coming. But again, for all your sports betting needs, make sure you check out our great friends at BetUS and use code JOIN, JOIN 125 to in fact get in on the 125% bonus with your first 3 deposits. AZ with the $5 haul says, oh yeah, got the Lindor City Connect jersey today. You love to see that, AZ. Then Lindor goes 4 for 5. Coincidence? I think not, says AZ in the chat. Tyrone Taylor shines. Mets got the W. LGM, baby. Cue the music, baby. We gotta believe you'll love to see it. I'm absolutely pumped up. Shout out to you, AZ. Thank you for the donation. Happy to see as well. But Waldo, have a fantastic time at the concert tonight. But again, AZ, thank you for the donation and congrats on the day you received the Lindor City Connect jersey. Lindor goes 4 for 5. You absolutely love to see it. But as we break down the ballgame further, again, the Mets do not score there in the first, but it wouldn't take them long to pounce. This was a game that the Mets were initially slated to face Blake Snell, the 2023 Cy Young Award winner there with the San Diego Padres. Starting his tenure with the Giants, it's been a putrid start. And right before today's game, he was put on the IL because he does have a groin injury, if I'm not mistaken, when he was ramping up and the last time he was ramping up. So Blake Snell, a last-minute scratch of today's start for the Giants. They go with the bullpen game. And I said it on Twitter earlier. This is going to go one of 2 ways. Live stream on Friday? Of course. Is the sky blue? Come on. With JDM's debut, what else am I going to be doing? Of course I'm going to be live streaming Friday. That is, of course, the plan, barring any crazy changes, obviously. But one more thing that I do just want to emphasize with you, everybody, is that the Mets were finally able to get rolling. I honestly had a point that I meant to say a second ago. I completely lost it. So let's just go back to breaking down the ballgame, shall we? In the bottom of the first there, Manaea again strikes out the side. Manaea's best inning was the first inning today. He strikes out the side, and you have to give some credit where credit's due. Tomas Nido at the backstop today, night and day difference. There's a reason why the Mets had absolutely tremendous pitching today, and we're able to get some key calls that, again, were borderline strikes, but that's where Tomas Nido comes into play. Tomas Nido is going to do the thing that Omar Narvaez simply can't, and that's to have competent frame jobs, or above-average frame jobs, even. Tomas Nido looked tremendous as a backstop today. The bat, I don't care, because, again, when the Mets just fire on all full cylinders the way that they're supposed to, again, and they didn't even did that today, they just got contributions basically from 2 key guys offensively for the most part, and Lindor and Taylor. Of course, you had McNeil chip in, you had some others too, but the big moral of the story here is that the Mets, again, just a couple big swings and they're up 8 runs to 2 in this victory. Just imagine how much better things can get when everyone's locked and loaded on full cylinders, and that's going to get you hyped up and ready to go. I see Priest on a plane, who has been the biggest Lindor hater in this chat. I'm sure he's pumped up. This was the first time since July last year Lindor has 3 hits in a game. That's how bad he sucks, and he's going to continue that. For those that don't know, and I didn't pick up on initially, we're going with the game where Again, even if Lindor does well, he's going to continue to talk down on him until that finds a consistency. And especially if Lindor doesn't do well, now we're at the point where he's going to reverse it, where he's going to hype him up. So we'll take that every day of the week, everybody. But Omar Narvaez's defense is not pretty. Tomas Nido, even with them being a non-existent bat, it doesn't matter because the offense is getting everything done for you. It's not a big deal at the end of the day. And as we advance further on the ballgame, after Shamanai again strikes out the side in the first, then we get to the bottom of the second. Jorge Soler gets on via walk. Chapman with a single. Bailey with a walk. So again, we're looking at bases loaded, no outs for Shamanaya. What if I told you he pulled some Houdini shit and managed to get out of it unscathed? Yes, he absolutely did. Estrada with a pop-up. Fitzgerald with a pop-up. And Nick Ahmed, who was red hot in this series in the early goings, batting 8th or 9th for them. It was, in fact, flying out there, and that's huge. Speaking of JD Martinez, folks, and his first at-bat today for the Syracuse Mets, he gets himself an RBI double. So JD Martinez is ready for the Mets, and we are ready to have him, baby. I'm so pumped up. I cannot wait to see JDM in this lineup. This has been years in the making where I've been dying for the Mets to have a batter of JD Martinez's caliber. And no, I don't think it's too little too late yet. I'm very excited to see what he can do there. Still very much a productive hitter at this point in his career. Lyman, happy to have you in here. Again, the Mets played fairly well, which is absolutely huge. Happy to have you in the live show. And as we break down the game further, everybody, again, the Mets already are looking great in this early goings. Against a bullpen, oh, this is what I meant to say earlier. It's going to go one of two ways with Blake Snell out today. It's either going to go the one way, which is the Mets get absolutely curb stomped by this bullpen. They can't hit him to save their life, and that's that. Or they absolutely pounce on a bullpen game, and thankfully, the latter is what's happened today. Because as we then get on to the top of the third, after somehow, someway, Shamanaya does some Houdini stuff and gets out of that second inning, bases loaded jam, no outs unscathed. We then get to the top of the third where Brandon Nimmo gets on via walk. Of course, he does, sprinting down to first, thanking Christ, which is what he does best. 2 outs later, Francisco Lindor takes a breaking ball down and in, and it is out of here, everybody. A 2-run shot for Francisco Lindor gives the Mets the early 2-0 lead in the third. Lindor had a beautiful swing on that. We know that he is a low ball hitter, especially this one wasn't even in the zone, but this breaking pitch was right in the wheelhouse of where Lindor can turn on this bad boy, and it wouldn't even be the only ball that he would turn on heavily today, as again, he had himself not one, but 2 massive home runs in today's outing. As we then get on to the bottom of the third, again, the Mets are up 2-0. Slater gets on via a walk and a stolen base. Flores with a walk. Thankfully, though, Slater gets caught slipping, and he is picked off by Shamanai to Francisco Lindor with ease at second base. Thankfully, the Giants would go on and not score there in the inning, and Manaea once again gets out of his own jams unscathed. On the top of the fourth, Tyrone Taylor today does what he does best, and that is hit absolute bombs, baby. Tyrone Taylor nuke. He's looking fantastic. I cannot wait to get into his numbers shortly. He has been absolutely beautiful. Our streams are so similar, ups and downs, 100%. Shout out to my man, Hogwatch, the best San Diego Padres YouTuber on the planet that you will ever meet or find. Born is not only a great friend of mine, but he's an absolute beauty with the content too. Make sure to check him out, folks, if you're ever interested in Padres coverage. And of course, when these teams meet up this year, we will be collaborating per usual like we have done in years past. Happy to have you in here, brother. Absolute beauty. But as we break down the game further here, again, the Mets are already up now 3-0 after that great bomb by Tyrone Taylor there. Bader gets on via single because there was a bad throw by Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman initially makes a beautiful diving stop, showcasing why he's a platinum glove, but then also showcasing why this is not the Matt Chapman of 2019. He sails it there to first base, well out of line there, who I believe Wilmer Flores was commanding first today, if I'm not mistaken. He gets on. The Mets do not score more there, so they're up 3 through 3. And as we then get on to the through 4 rather. Then as we get to the 5th inning, Bailey gets a single at the bottom of the 4th. Doesn't matter though. We get to the 5th with 2 outs. Pete Alonso gets on via a single. Brett Baty with a walk, and Tyrone Taylor says, I am gonna eat these pitches up for breakfast, everybody. A no doubt 2-run double. Opposite field gets in the corner. We know how deep those gaps are in San Francisco. That scores both runners. The Mets now find themselves up 5-0 thanks to Tyrone Taylor's heroics there and pretty much back-to-back innings. And then we would see Jeff McNeil continue the offense going with a key RBI single there in the gap between first and second. Love that. Again, the Mets are up 6-0 that we would see here through 5. Then in the bottom of the 5th, Slater with a single, Flores with a single, Conforto with a strikeout, and with one final out needed, Sean Manaea is pulled from today's game before having the potential to, in fact, get himself a win. Now, I understand some controversy behind this, but you know what I care about absolute most? I care about Sean Manaea. While I, of course, want to see him succeed and get a win, I care a lot more about the Mets making sure they have a win. And Jorge Soler's coming in a situation with multiple guys on, 2 outs, and Soler's previous at-bat against Manaea, he barreled him so hard, just missed a home run that was foul to left. So they make the right move by bringing in Reed Garrett. Manaea obviously is unhappy that he's pulled from the game, but Sean, I love you, Sean, but when you walk 4 guys and throw 101 pitches in not even 5 innings, no shit, you're going to get pulled, and I'm glad that Mendy did not hesitate and have him in there too long. Reed Garrett, first pitch he throws, easy out on Jorge Lopez, and that does it there for the inning. Escaping that jam where Reed Garrett again would look human for the first time we've seen this season would not change the fact that Reed Garrett was still an absolute bulldog and still has over 50% K rate. He's pretty much as disgusting of a reliever as one can get right now in the best way possible. And before he gets beat around a little bit, we've seen the 6th inning, Reed Garrett with an easy 1-2-3 inning, including 2 strikeouts, both with that beautiful splitty that has been a game changer for him and now his young major league career at the beautiful age of 31. In the bottom of the 6th, we see Francisco Lindor with yet another hit today. This one would be opposite field. Love to see it. Then in the bottom of the 7th, Fitzgerald with a home run. The first run given up by Reed Garrett this season. Again, unfortunately, it was a slider that hung a little too much, and we see Fitzgerald rip his 3rd home run of his career. I'd be lying if I said I knew who the schmuck was prior to the series beginning, and I'm only saying that because, again, I don't watch the Giants religiously. I literally had no clue who this guy was whatsoever. He rips the bomb, though, and then you see Nick Ahmed strikes out thereafter. Nice K with the slide piece there that we would see, if I'm not mistaken, by Reed Garrett. Wade gets on via a walk. Flores strikes out the slide piece too. And then Conforto with an opposite field single. So again, 2 on, 2 out. Reed Garrett is pulled after pitching 2 innings of 1 earned run ball. Adam Ottavino comes in to face Jorge Soler, just like that previous situation, the 5th, guys. A couple guys on, 2 outs, and you see Sean Manaea pulled for Reed Garrett. Reed Garrett gets the final out on Soler with ease. Jorge Soler facing off against Adam Ottavino, 3 pitches, and you're done. Beautiful at-bat in Adam Ottavino's favor. Adam is looking disgusting so far this season. Is certainly not looking like the guy that we saw throwing meatballs consistently last year, not handling back-to-back outings. Adam Ottavino, when utilized properly, is certainly a solid reliever, and he continues his hot start to the 2024 season there. And as we advance further on the ball game, again, Adam would find himself getting out of a jam that we would see in the 8th inning unscathed. He looks strong for the most part. Adam Ottavino had himself a very strong day today. But before we got there in the 8th, in the top of the 8th, Jeff McNeil does rip a double. McNeil with another multi-hit game. He loves raking in California, his home state. He always tends to do well there. I was happy to see that continue. And then as we get to the 9th, again, Mitch White comes in the game. Remember this guy, Mitch White? Remember him when he was being utilized as a starter in Toronto, utilized as a starter with the Dodgers? Well, now he's basically the last resort of a bullpen option for the Giants, and he was throwing meatballs left and right, and Francisco Lindor said, "I'm hungry, baby." He rips a no-doubt 2-run shot, his 2nd home run of the day. Francisco Lindor records 4 hits, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. If he isn't your player of the game, you're an absolute schmuck, and I don't know what else to tell you. He's absolutely 1,100% positively WardyNYM's player of the game, and he should be yours too for the obvious reasons I just mentioned. Brett Beatty would rip a single thereafter. The Mets wouldn't score anymore. We get to the 9th. Edwin Diaz comes in again. He hasn't worked in multiple days, so makes sense even with you up 8-1 at this point. Lamont Wade Jr. gets on via a single. Flores with the single as well. He's out, though, trying to leg a single into a double. We love you, Wilmer, but you never had the legs, and that continued there as you tried to pull a Harrison Bader against the Atlanta Braves, legging a single into a double. But then we see Pete Alonso thinking he has a quick out on Michael Conforto, a soft ground out to end the inning and end the game for Edwin and the Mets. He overtosses Edwin Diaz, misses him. Wade goes on to score, and the Mets are now up 6 in this one, and they would win by a final score of 8-2. A quick out there for Edwin thereafter, and that does it. Apologies if I'm rubbing my nose especially a lot right now. I'm in a room that has had a cat, and I love cats, but I am also kind of highly allergic, so sometimes when the air floats up, and if it tickles me right around here, I'm like this the entire time. So apologies in advance about that one, and that's something you'll probably see more of considering I'm going to be in a household more often than not that does have cats around. So I don't mind cats, but man, oh man, they kick my absolute butt sometimes when it comes to, yes, the whole breathing, the allergies and things. And my schmuck self didn't take an allergy med before doing the show today because I was too juiced up and I want to go live right away. The things I do for you guys. The things I do, everybody. But now as we take a look on the hitting end for the Mets, it is as follows today, everybody. Lots to like here, mainly from Francisco Lindor, of course, some from Tyrone Taylor and others in between. Brandon Nimmo with an 0 for 3 today with two runs scored, 2 walks. Nimmo is now batting below the Mendoza line, believe it or not. Yes, that's crazy to say. Brandon Nimmo continues to slump if he's not getting on base via walk. He's really not getting on base at all right now. 186 average and a 672 OPS for Brandon Nimmo. Starling Marte over 5 today, but that's okay because Marte was great yesterday. He's been great pretty much the past 2+ weeks, all season long. Still batting 290 with a 780 OPS. Francisco Lindor, what a massive game for him. 4 hits, 2 bombs, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Finally batting above the Mendoza line. Yes, there is a God after all, everybody. All jokes aside, Francisco Lindor, 206 average, 652 OPS. We will take those small wins as they come. Pete Alonso batting 4th today, 1 for 4 today with the run scored, 263 average, 856 OPS. Brett Beatty, Brett the Hitman that I absolutely love, 1 for 4 with the run scored today and a walk. And while Beatty, of course, needs to continue to work on lifting the ball because the ground balls are definitely getting up there, even when he's getting on base, it's not looking too pretty on that end, so he needs to continue to work on that. I know he will. 267 average with a 649 OPS. Tyrone Taylor, everybody, 2 for 5 with the massive home run, the 2-run double, 3 RBIs on the day, and the 2 runs scored himself. 327 average for Tyrone Taylor this season, folks, and an 868 OPS. Imagine just salary dumping a player like this. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Milwaukee. Not trying to offend you too much. Jeff McNeil batting 7th today, 2 for 4, looking great. Looking more and more like the Jeff McNeil we love. These are the kind of 2 to 3 hit games I want to see consistently out of Jeff, and he continues to thrive there in that 7th spot, which I'm happy about. McNeil, again, now batting 269. Nice. How you doing? Where you been? Where you going? With his 737 OPS. Harrison Bader, again, coming back down to life, continues as he goes 0 for 4 today. 278 average with a 654 OPS. And then we have Tomas Nido 0 for 3 today. And honestly, I don't care. Nido could literally be batting 0-0-0-0. It doesn't matter to me as long as he's not a complete rally killer and hurting the Mets and their chances of win. As long as the defense continues to look the way it is with that great frame jobs, his a beautiful ability to get in front of balls when you have wild pitches or trying to prevent a pass ball. And he does have a solid arm at second base. Now, it's not as strong as I would argue a Francisco Alvarez, but it's been accurate, and so far, so good. On the pitching end, folks, as we take a look here, again, Sean Manaea wasn't terrible today, but he continues the notion of being a Mets starter that just cannot command the zone to save their life. Again, if it's not quick outs, it's walking everybody, and there really isn't any in between, unfortunately, as Manaea, again, goes 4.2 innings of 4 hit, 0 earned run ball, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. He's at a 3.33 ERA on the season. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate currently what is happening with Sean Manaea so far this season in the rotation? If you had to give him a rating to this point this season on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate him and why? Let me know in the live chat right now. People on replay, let me know down below too. The Rabbits are doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. They're not currently with me, but they will be soon enough, which I'm excited about here. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat right now. You guys crack me up sometimes with the stuff you say. Shout out Guardians of Chaos. Of course, a great mod here on the channel. Appreciate everyone in here. And as we get on to Reed Garrett, again, gives up a bomb for the first time this season. He looks human for the first time. Reed Garrett, no less. 2 innings of 2 hit, 1 run ball, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts between the splitty and the slide piece. He's still looking disgusting. 0.71 ERA. Adam Ottavino, how you doing, baby? 1.1 shutty with the walk and the 3 strikeouts. 1.86 ERA so far this season for Adam Ottavino. Just to emphasize a little bit further, everybody, with how good Adam Ottavino has been playing, it is the following. At the young age of 38, through 9 appearances, Adam has an ERA of 1.86. His K rate, 18.4 per 9, is through the roof, which is tremendous. Again, Adam was never known as this overwhelming strikeout pitcher with the Mets. We know he has a nasty sweeper, but he's really a guy that, again, has just been able to work some nice outs, but not right now. His K per 9 is through the roof, just like we're seeing with Reed Garrett, for example. He's in the 99th percentile of pitchers in ERA and expected ERA. His walk rate is way down, and he's inducing some of the softest contact in Major League Baseball. That comes according to Anthony DiComo on the beat for the Mets there, because the Savant numbers, as soon as I saw that, I want to reference them because they're true. Adam Ottavino's off to a tremendous start. And by a show of hands, how many of you expected Adam Ottavino to be this nails this early into the year? Because I know that a lot of fans did not want to see Adam Ottavino return to the Mets when they did sign him. And I did that breaking news live show or video in Madison Square Garden as the Knicks overtook the Miami Heat there in that game. Tremendous game. Unfortunately, though, it was kind of a cursed game because OG Anunoby then went out with injury for weeks on end, and Julius Randle's season was done from that point on. But at least the Knicks got the win there, right? Speaking of my Knicks, big game, big game tomorrow, game 3. If you're a Sixers fan, I'm not even going to care if you're offended, because if you're a Sixers fan and a Mets fan somehow, there's something wrong going on. You can't be Philly, New York. And that's the one thing I will always stand by. And that's me personally, as a guy that lives outside the Philly area. I will not stand for it. Edwin Diaz, though, again, has himself not the prettiest outing, but just does what the Mets need him to do, which is huge. 1 inning, 2 hits allowed, the 1-run score that was not his fault. 1.04 ERA for Edwin Diaz to kick off the season. Oh, baby, are we absolutely loving that. Apologies. Actually, no, not apologies, everybody. Now let's get in before I break down the game further, because I want to see your guys' and gals' reactions. I see a lot of your comments in the live chat right now, especially on the ratings of the likes of Shamanaya. And I also want to know your thoughts again on Adam Ottavino. But before I do, everybody, I'm beyond ecstatic. I'm truly pumped up to get into today's video sponsor and the people that you're going to be seeing weekly on the channel for quite a bit of time. That's separate from our awesome friends at BetUS. And it is, in fact, a longtime friend. They are back, baby. Buckle up. If you know, you know. SoRare MLB is back, folks. And in case you don't know SoRare MLB, they are the best MLB fantasy game out there. You can play at your fingertips. You can use it in the app today. You can play on your computer. What is so awesome about SoRare MLB, folks, is that you quite literally, if you're a card collector, if you love collecting cards, if you love playing MLB The Show and, say, building your own team and being your own GM, this is exactly what you're looking for. Again, you're going to be able to build your squad with unique cards where they vary in rarity. And, of course, you can buy, sell, and trade these cards with your friend on the marketplace, right available in their app today or on the desktop. They've had a lot of awesome features that are much more improved than how they rolled out their first campaign with MLB last season. So excited to be working again with them, as we have been doing a lot of awesome community things together. We're going to be having a Wardy SoRare League again, where you guys can compete with your teams against me weekly. And depending on who, of course, is the winner in that regard, we will be giving away awesome giveaways. First giveaways paired with SoRare will begin next week, so be on the lookout. Very excited for that. But you'll have the chance to enter tournaments with the teams that you build with the awesome cards that, again, are unique to you. They are on the blockchain, so you literally can buy and sell these cards. I bought and sold cards for anywhere from $10 to $100+. Again, some of them are very desirable because the higher the rarity, the better the card is, and the more that you're going to have great production. If you say at a Francisco Lindor card today that wasn't a common, that was, say, a gold, an all-star, a rare, whatever it may be, you're going to look absolutely fantastic in your tournament today. So you can enter weekly tournaments to play against all people in Major League Baseball, in the communities, and of course, again, just in baseball fandom as a whole. And by doing so, you will have a chance to win awesome cash prizes, tickets to Mets games, jerseys, so many different types of giveaways, as we'll be rolling out here shortly on the channel. But SoRare MLB, again, you can play with your friends, which is awesome. You can be your own GM technically by building your own squad, and you can have so much fun with it. And the beauty of it, one of the giveaways we'll be doing on the channel soon is collections. So you know how in like MLB The Show and stuff like that, if you know, where you kind of add cards for your favorite teams. So say if you want to collect the Mets squad, if you have a collection of a certain rating, you will automatically be entered for your chance to win key giveaways that we'll be doing weekly on the channel. So very exciting. I cannot wait to play with you all again, because I know we had hundreds, if not thousands of you guys interact and do this with me last year as we were playing together week by week, checking our scores, seeing who's hot, who's not, of course, in Major League Baseball. It's just so much fun. Again, and I told you guys, as long as SoRare came back as a sponsor, we're going to be rolling this bad boy again, because I love the game. I just want to have incentive to play it, and we got it right now, folks. We're going to make time for it because they're here on the channel. And again, I absolutely love the product. Easily one of the best products I've ever worked with on WardyNYM, sponsor-wise. And the best part, again, is that this is a game that you will find yourself playing regardless of me promoting it, because of just how much fun it is. So make sure to click the link down below. That way you guys can sign up today. Again, play all that. Again, you don't have to spend a dime to play if you don't want to. Completely up to you on how you would like to play the game to build your roster. But click the link down below to log in, get your account all set up. We're going to have a lot of fun with this together. So again, to everybody that has enjoyed our SoRare MLB segments on the channel, be on the lookout, because we will, in fact, be doing it again. Again, Yuki said it best, SoRare jersey giveaway. Those are coming back. Ticket giveaways coming back. everything in between, all thanks to our great friends at SoRare MLB. No wieners, no, not that there isn't no wieners. The wiener giveaway has in fact ended with BetUS. That's a completely separate thing. But shout out to SoRare MLB as always, as again, you will have so many different creative options to build your team, play with your friends, and play with me too. It's a fun way for us to interact here in the community and something that's offline from strictly YouTube. So appreciate the love. Thank you all so much for the support, and shout out to SoRare MLB for sponsoring today's video. But as we get back into breaking down more about the ballgame, folks, my intro and jingle is going to run for a hot 2 seconds. So bear with me as I do that, and I make sure it's minimized for you guys. So if you want to lower your volume for a minute, highly implore you all to do that right now. Well, let's now get back to this. Let me make sure that's all lowered, and we're good to go. Okay, we're set, folks. Again, the Mets find themselves winning by a final score of 8-2 tonight in fantastic fashion. And what I love so much about the Mets win today is not just the heroics we saw from Francisco Lindor with the 4 hits and the 2 home runs, but it was an all-around effort today that really was satisfying. It was great and it was honestly a sigh of relief to see this Mets team once again this season. It's not the first time they've done this. They've done this again against lesser pitching again this season. And yes, there's a bigger problem. The Mets against lesser pitching have been absolute dogs. The Mets against like dominant starters have looked like a team that can't handle a dominant starter. That isn't, both those things are true. But what is also true is Francisco Lindor's ability to ball out today. Tyrone Taylor looking like an absolute stud. And honestly, something that I think is going to continue to get slept on a bit more and more is Jeff McNeil's production, everybody. Can we take a moment to appreciate Jeff McNeil? Jeff is continuing to put out 2 3-hit games on a fairly consistent level right now. I know it isn't the best Jeff McNeil that we've seen right now yet, but again, he's batting almost 270. He's getting the OPS up. If we can get McNeil back to being that 300 hitter, 770 to 800 OPS guy, that's exactly where we want him in our wheelhouse, everybody. So my question to everybody watching this live on our replay is, what is your biggest takeaway from today's game? Is it just Lindor? If so, have you been eating your words? Do you think Lindor was not going to provide the kind of offensive prowess he had today? Whatever your thoughts are, drop them down below. Really does mean a lot. Thanks. That's why I don't mind gifting memberships. Daniel, you're an absolute beauty. Again, thank you so much for doing that again, my friend. It really does mean a lot. Again, let's get some scroll hype in the chat. Let's get it going. Jeff McNeil really looked good today. I'm very happy with the production we've been seeing on his end. And once you get, again, this Mets offense starting Friday will be as follows, everybody. Brandon Nimmo, Starling Marte, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, JD Martinez batting 5th, and I'm so happy about that if you couldn't tell. So excited. Even if he goes 0 for 4 or 0 for 5, I won't give a rat's ass in his first game. It ain't gonna matter to me. I'm just so happy to see him in Mets uniform. Then we're gonna, of course, figure it out what you want from there, from 6 through 9. Again, if you want to have Beatty batting 6th, 7th, you want to say have McNeil. 8th, you're gonna have, this is a good question now. You know, actually, let me take a look at the Mets lineup just for a second. If we look at the hitting today, I want to go back here for a second. Okay, so this was the lineup we had today. So let's put JDM batting 5th. So move Beatty down, move everyone down. Ooh, okay. So this is going to be actually interesting to figure out here. So Nimmo 1, Marte 2, Lindor 3, Alonso 4, JD Martinez 5th, Brett Beatty 6th. Then I would say 7th, we're going to have Jeff McNeil, right? 8th, we're going to have one of Tyrone Taylor or Harrison Bader. Take your pick based on the matchup. And then 9th, you're going to have likely Omar Narvaez or Tomas Nido. That sounds good, baby. And then once Francisco Alvarez is finally back in this lineup again 2 months from now, which sucks to say, but once Alvy's back and hopefully ready to get in a groove and ready to go, man, oh man, this lineup is really going to look deep before you know it, guys. Like, this was a lineup that initially heading into the season, we're like, it's all right. You know, it doesn't look terrible, but, you know, you're missing some power there and you're missing some depth when you're getting tremendous production from guys like Tyrone Taylor, Harrison Bader as well, even though he's cooled off a bit lately. McNeil getting back to more than McNeil that we love to see. Brett Beatty, again, not being an automatic out, and while he's still struggling to lift the ball, Beatty's still in a much better position than I think what we've seen last year, going directly in hand with his confidence. Before you know it, this Mets lineup, again, is going to be one of the deeper ones in all the National League. It'll be awesome if it shows its deepness before Alvarez returns, but if it's not until Alvarez gets in this lineup, that's okay too, because we know that Alvarez is a huge home run get. We know that Alvarez, when healthy, can easily give you 25 to 35 plus bombs a season. So many great things to say about Alvarez and his both offensive and defensive game. But with JD Martinez in this lineup starting this Friday, folks, you got to be juiced up. You got to love the thought about the type of dominance that he can have here. And I'm just so pumped up, and I cannot wait to see it happen. So JDM, you cannot come soon enough, my friend. It's awesome to see you raking also in the minor leagues right now. And as I go back, I'm 100% going to be in Cloud 9 Friday. Only thing that's going to hurt is if the Mets get absolutely steamrolled and no one does anything, which of course can happen, but it better not happen against the St. Louis Cardinals. Let me tell you that much. I'm going to lose my mind if that happens. But as I go back up in the chat a little bit, asking you guys about Sean Manaea, I see you guys got him at a right of 5. Yuki says 1, 7, 7, 5.5, 6, 7.5, 6.5. I personally, for Sean Manaea, have him in the 6.5 range. I think that's fair. Again, Manaea, I'm not expecting him to be otherworldly. He doesn't have any truly dominant stuff. The sweeper when right looks nasty, but he can also hang it at times too, so you got to be careful. And that walk rate, that's the big thing. Again, Sean goes from striking at everyone their mother in the first inning to walking everyone afterwards. So you got to clean up that game a little bit. He knows it. He'll be the first to say it. But overall, Sean and I have been pleasantly surprised with some of his production. And again, he's showing exactly why David Stearns is good at his job. If it wasn't for David Stearns, I promise you, the Mets are not getting the kind of production that they are out of their pitchers right now. And that goes in hand with Jeremy Hefner's production, but it also goes in hand a bigger emphasis with the Mets pitching lab that they have and the information that they use to get the best out of their pitchers currently. That's what's so exciting about seeing the upside that we have seen, of course, there. I see my man Dave in the chat, as always, longtime member, great time supporter, and good friend. Dave, happy to have you in here, brother. Hope you're doing fantastic, my friend. Hope all is well. Shout out everyone again for chiming in live on a replay as we break down the latest in Mets land as the Amazons take this game big time by a final score of 8-2, everybody. But Sean Manaea, Adrian Hauser in spurts, but not so much his past couple outings. Luis Severino pitched fantastic last night. That sucks that it was brushed under the rug because the Mets had nothing to show offensively. They've gotten a lot of solid production from their rotation, while there's some glaring holes in it too, with the lack of command when it comes to the high walk rates, and of course not having the best put-out pitches. For what the Mets are currently working with, both rotation and bullpen-wise, is nothing short of an absolute beautiful thing to see, the type of production that they've had as we are currently at now, April 24th, 2024, this season, everybody. And I don't know how many people we got watching live on Twitter, but I appreciate every single one of you. CF first chime in the chat. Happy to have you in here. Again, we're breaking down the latest in Mets land as the Mets take a massive one. Oh, we got over 500 on Twitter. Thank you guys and gals so much for that. Really does mean a lot. Again, the Mets win big time today, and I'm so pumped up to see the Mets begin their homestand this Friday. Again, you had a 500 road trip. I'm taking that every day of the weekend, Sundays. You take 2 out of 3 against LA. You lose the first 2 against San Fran, but you salvaged the series the best way possible today. That's all you can ask for. And yes, the Mets still have bigger problems on their hand when it comes to more elite pitching. We're going to see it throughout the season, but this is where JD Martinez can really be a game changer, because you know what? While elite pitching is there, JD Martinez has been one of the best major league hitters for a very long time now. Last season, look at the numbers. They still apply. Just tremendous. When you look at all those expected numbers, we know that once JDM gets in a groove, he's going to be absolutely deadly. And even though JDM, I do not expect to be the LA Dodgers JDM, even if JD is, again, a guy that gives you more along the lines of 25 home runs, 75 to 85 plus RBIs, and a more of an 800 OPS versus a 900, who's complaining about that when that's still far and away the best production one could ask for at the DH position for the Mets this year? And now you have a guy like DJ Stewart who's going to be coming off the bench because Zach Short is more than likely going to be the man DFA'd now with JD Martinez coming up. The Mets want to make sure they have DJ as a lethal option off the bench, and also JD Martinez will not be starting DH every single day. I promise you that right now, folks. While you want to keep him in a rhythm, he's also old and he knows his body very well, so don't be shocked if you see many series where JD Martinez is, say, starting 2 out of 3 games for the first month, as he comes from, of course, his back ailment that he deals with every single season, has been for a number of years now. This is not the first rodeo with JDM. You just got to make sure you manage his health right, and then you're going to get yourself a very productive bat. All Things Mets Talk, thank you so much for the donation. All Things Mets Talk says, I knew the Mets would have a hard time against Giants' tough pitchers. We're facing some good pitchers this weekend, too. We are. But here's the thing. I got a confidence in this Mets team. They've been riding high. The vibes have been electric at Citi Field. And we're going to see more standing O's, especially after this big game. I promise you, there's going to be a lot of fans giving Lindor the standing O. The fans, not only the fans, the players are going to feed off this energy. It's going to be great to see. Do I think we'll be buyers at the deadline? No, I don't. And I stand by that currently. I think the Mets will be My mistake. I thought you said sellers. I don't know why I read that completely wrong. David, yes, I do think the Mets will be buyers by the trade deadline. But to what degree, that's what we're going to find out in the ensuing months as they have a lot of baseball to play. What about Wendell? Is he staying or going? Wendell's likely going to stay for now because Wendell still provides more than what Zach Short does. I know the bar is very low, but he still provides more. So I'd imagine Zach Short, who's been a nothing burger of an offensive or defensive contribution to the Mets thus far, he's literally been a guy that the Mendy went out of his way to try to avoid on the bench at times for reasons. I fully expect him to be DFA'd and cleared and likely go to Syracuse, and then you're going to have JDM on this roster with DJ Stewart coming off the bench more often than not. To be frank, nobody hits against Logan Webb. Oh, Logan Webb is fantastic. Yes, but the bigger problem is that Logan Webb is fantastic. The Mets made him look quite literally like Cy Young last year. And even as a Cy Young caliber pitcher in Logan Webb, getting shut down 8 shutty with ease, frustrating, especially when Starling Marte was the only man that was able to read him properly. That kind of showed me more of Marte's ability to be locked in right now. And when you don't have many other guys in unison at the moment, you're just going to flail, you're going to falter. So between not only the likes that we saw there with Logan Webb, with Reagans, with so many other, big name starters this year, how many big name starters have the Mets actually pounced on this season? They really haven't much. It's been more mid to low level. Even Jared Jones, right, for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who I discussed today. If you guys didn't see, I was live on Bleacher Report app earlier today, breaking down, and the link is available in the community tab for you guys to check out whenever you want. I went live today breaking down the top 10 rookies so far this season. On my list, very up there, nor towards the top, not going to say where exactly, but Jared Jones, I had him all the way up there for a good reason because he has a 2.75 ERA this year. He's a flamethrower since 98, 99 consistently as a 22-year-old, and he shut down the Mets going 5 innings of 1 hit, 0 earned run ball, 0 walks, I'm pretty sure, at least 7 Ks. But the problem is that because Jones is kind of on an innings limit by the Pirates currently, that's how the Mets were able to pounce and ultimately win and rally in that ball game and have late heroics once Jones was pulled from said ball game. But those first 5 innings, the Mets had 0 answers for a right-hander like him, and that's a problem because the Mets are going to be facing some damn good pitching all season long. So it's imperative for them, again, to jump on these guys early, because if you don't jump on them early, good luck. Yep, you said it best, JJ. Jared Jones, Freddie Peralta, Tyler Glasnow, Reagans, and I think Cole is his first name. Cole Reagans, I'm going to go with. Logan Webb. All those guys carved up the Mets so far this season. How many dominant starters to the caliber of those following pitchers that we just discussed have the Mets beat up on this year? I can't think of one. I literally cannot think of one truly dominant guy. I mean, they beat up on Charlie Morton, which was nice, but Charlie Morton is not off to a dominant start. He's a very solid pitcher, but you could probably say that Morton is definitely in a class below all those pitchers we just listed. So again, the Mets have more overall work that they need to do. We know that, but we're going to take a big win today and hopefully ride high heading into Citi Field this weekend, everybody. So folks, that is going to do it for the live show. I want to thank you all so much for watching live, and especially a bunch of you guys will be watching a replay. So continue to let me know your thoughts and your biggest takeaway from Francisco Lindor's tremendous game today. Again, winning by a final score of 8-2 thanks to his 4-hit, 2-home run, 4 RBI day. Tyrone Taylor, 3 RBIs, the clutch 2-run opposite field double, the big solo shot before that in the 4th inning, then getting on to the 5th with the double, and the bullpen being absolute nails, guys. Not Francisco Lindor. This Mets bullpen is absolutely disgusting, and I'm loving every second of it. Hopefully it continues. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned. We'll be back live Friday, if not sooner, for hopefully pre- and post-game segment, but certainly at absolute minimum post-game coverage. This Saturday, I will probably be away for coverage, so we'll see what happens on that front. Not entirely sure yet. Sunday, we should hopefully have coverage for you. But everybody, thank you again once more. Mets win a big one here, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Have a great one, folks. And as always, let's go Mets, baby.